Welcome back to GH Spoilers channel. Today we will dive into the extraordinary turmoil turning Port Charles upside down, as Alexis Davis's mysterious disappearance sends shockwaves throughout the city, particularly after Rick Lansing's lightning-fast escape from her basement captivity. Secrets unraveling in Port Charles. Port Charles is witnessing a whirlwind of drama and deception like never before, as the hidden alliances between Alexis Davis, Ava Jerome, and Kristina Corinthos Davis spiral out of control. In the aftermath of Ava's near-deadly paperweight attack on Rick Lansing, their once solid pact to keep Rick locked away fractures with his daring breakout, which not only jeopardizes all three women, but also exposes tangled motives and simmering vendettas lurking beneath the surface. Rick Lansing's escape sparks panic. Rick Lansing, fueled by humiliation and rage after Ava's brutal assault, manages to escape Alexis' basement in a pulse-pounding sequence that leaves viewers gasping for breath. The Davis women, now unmoored and desperate, scramble to contain the fallout as Rick's freedom upends their carefully constructed secret world. The city buzzes with speculation. Did Rick orchestrate Alexis's disappearance to manipulate her legal expertise? Or has Alexis fled to shield her daughters from disgrace and prosecution? Dangerous choices and shifting alliances. Under mounting pressure, Kristina is tormented by guilt and torn between saving her mother and risking everything by confessing to Anna Devane and Dante Falconeri. Her fragile psyche, battered by recent emotional crises, pushes her toward reckless honesty, drawing the attention of the ever-resourceful Ava Jerome, who won't tolerate loose ends or betrayal. Ava's response is as chilling as it is predictable. She leans hard on her mob connections and sharp instincts, determined to silence Kristina before their entire scheme collapses. Ava Jerome, ruthlessness unleashed. Ava's reputation for survival is legendary, and her latest predicament ignites a new level of desperation. Fans know Ava never backs down from a fight, especially if threatened with exposure or jail. This time, her threats against Kristina might escalate into something even darker, using psychological manipulation and dangerous leverage, possibly even dragging Nina Reeves and other allies into her web to form a line of defense. Port Charles residents cautiously watch as Ava flexes her power, wondering if Kristina's resolve can withstand Ava's intimidating tactics. The Davis sisters on edge. Alexis's disappearance devastates Kristina and Molly Lansing Davis, destabilizing their already fragile bond. Molly finds herself caught in the crossfire, uncertain whether to trust Kristina's urge to confess or Ava's hostile silence. Tensions rise as family secrets resurface, rekindling old rivalries and testing the sisters' loyalty to their mother and to each other. Their emotional turmoil could lead to rash decisions, possibly driving Molly into her own risky investigations or alliances with unlikely characters, such as TJ Ashford or even Sonny Corinthos. Rick's motives, grudges, and revenge. With Alexis out of sight, fans speculate wildly on Rick's next move, theorizing that his vendetta against Sonny Corinthos or unresolved issues with Drew Kane might play a role in the unfolding chaos. Rick's legal cunning makes him a formidable adversary, and his recent humiliation at the hands of Alexis and her circle may compel him to exact revenge in unpredictable ways, potentially through blackmail, hostage-taking, or by forging new alliances with characters like Cyrus Renault or Valentine Casadini. Law enforcement closing in. The PCPD has stepped up its investigation, with Anna Devane and Dante Falconeri questioning every loose thread connected to Drew Kane's shooting and the crime swirling around Rick's captivity. Anna's detective instincts lead her deeper into the Davis family's secrets, while Dante's loyalty to truth puts him at odds with his own family connections. The community watches nervously as law enforcement edges closer to untangling the mystery behind Alexis's vanishing act, suspecting that more than just a kidnapping is at play. Social media frenzy and fans' theories. Across Facebook, Twitter, and soap forums, fans are in a frenzy, throwing out wild theories and passionate debates about who will crack under the pressure and who will stand firm. Kristina versus Ava could be a showdown for the ages, one fan posted, echoing the growing anticipation for a dramatic confrontation that could redefine allegiances throughout Port Charles. Other viewers believe Alexis has a master plan, suggesting she might turn the tables on Rick and Ava by orchestrating her own rescue or setting a legal trap. Invented intrigue. Alexis's secret ally. Imagine Alexis, in her time away, enlisting a mysterious new ally, perhaps a former client, an old friend from law school, or an undercover agent with ties to the WSB. This invented twist could inject even more suspense. with Alexis quietly gathering evidence to exonerate herself and expose Rick's deeper criminal connections. Her off-screen maneuvers could disrupt the power balance, leading to secret meetings in dimly lit diners or encrypted messages hidden in legal paperwork. Unexpected repercussions. The ripple effects from this storyline threaten to engulf many more, and Port Charles McCall might uncover clues tying Rick's escape to a much larger scheme. While Sonny Corinthus's own challenges intensify as his enemies multiply, Nina Reeves is likely to weigh her loyalty to Ava against her own vulnerabilities, and even Laura Collins may step in, worried about the moral decay threatening the community's stability. Each character's involvement raises new stakes and transforms old alliances. Speculation on fan-favorite characters. The soap world thrives on surprise twists, and this saga is no exception. Could Danny's investigation put his career at risk? Will Molly's rebellious streak finally surface as she fights to protect Kristina? Are there hidden clues left behind in Alexis's basement pointing to a shadowy accomplice, or a long-lost secret that shifts the entire narrative? Next, we will learn about the chilling mystery surrounding Britt Westburn's frosty response to her supposed brother Nathan West's shocking comeback, sparking wild fan speculations that he's hiding a dangerous secret identity. In the latest twists gripping Port Charles, Nathan West's miraculous survival from a devastating car accident has everyone buzzing, but Britt's unyielding chill toward him is turning heads and fueling doubts across the fandom. Picture this: after years of mourning his tragic end back in 2018, at the hands of the villainous Caesar Faison, Nathan stumbles into the emergency room looking every bit the ghost from the past. Yet, while Dr. Liesel Obrecht, their formidable mother, bursts into tears of pure elation at the sight of her lost son, and Maxie Jones remains tragically sidelined in a deep coma, Britt stands apart like a sentinel in the shadows, her eyes, sharp and calculating, betraying no warmth, just a calculated distance that screams volumes. Fans are dissecting every micro-expression, convinced that Britt, with her history of navigating family betrayals and high-stakes deceptions, has spotted something profoundly off about this resurrection. Diving deeper into Britt's guarded posture, it's as if she's erected an invisible fortress around her heart since that fateful encounter. No hugs, no relieved sighs, just a subtle arch of the eyebrow and a step back that feels deliberate. This isn't the Britt we know from her more vulnerable moments. This is the Ice Queen version, honed by years of protecting the Obrecht legacy from external threats. Social media platforms are lighting up with fervent discussions, from Twitter threads unraveling her body language to Instagram reels, zooming in on her hesitant glances. One viral post captures it perfectly. Britt's poker face isn't fooling anyone as she knows this Nathan isn't the brother she buried. The speculation runs rampant that during her harrowing captivity, at the infamous Five Poppies facility, Britt uncovered fragments of truth about Nathan's actual demise, perhaps witnessing a cover-up or a body double swap that Faison orchestrated in his final, vengeful hours. If that's the case, her silence now could be a noble shield for Liesel's fragile happiness or a desperate bid to spare Maxie further heartbreak upon awakening. But it leaves us wondering, at what personal toll is Britt carrying this burden alone? Expanding on the imposter theories that have taken the GH community by storm, many believe this Nathan is no mere survivor, but a meticulously crafted facsimile, born from Faison's macabre legacy of scientific meddling. Imagine a scenario where, in the depths of his hidden labs, Faison didn't just kill Nathan, but repurposed his essence, checklining him with twisted enhancements, implanting false memories to serve as a sleeper agent against the Quartermaines, or even Dante Falcone's police force. Britt's ordeal in Croatia, entangled with the enigmatic Pascal and the shadowy Professor Henry Hank Dalton, might have been the key that unlocked this nightmare. Perhaps during those grueling interrogations abroad, she pieced together clues about a black market operation trafficking in identity swaps. Realizing that the real Nathan perished long ago in a forgotten experiment, her current vigilance could stem from fearing this doppelganger's agenda, infiltrating the Obrecht inner circle to extract secrets about old Casadini ties, or even sabotaging Liesel's medical research at the hospital. Fans are drawing parallels to past plots, like the time Faison faked his own survival through plastic surgery and mind games, suggesting this Nathan might carry a hidden tracker or a program trigger to unleash chaos at a pivotal moment, such as a family reunion or a confrontation with Sonny Corinthos. Shifting gears to alternative conspiracies, a growing faction points fingers at the cunning Jens Sidwell and his sprawling deception empire as the masterminds behind this ploy. What if Sidwell, ever the opportunist in the world of cosmetics and covert operations, engineered Nathan's return as a pawn to worm his way into Maxie's creative world once she recovers. Envision Sidwell's team staging the crash and amnesia narrative to build sympathy, allowing this fake Nathan to cozy up to Maxie, manipulate her fashion insights, or worse, use James West, their young Sona's leverage in a corporate takeover bid. Brit's suspicion might trace back to intercepted communications during her international escapades, where she overheard whispers of Sidwell's alliances with underground tech firms, specializing in neural reprogramming. Her reluctance to engage isn't just protective, it's strategic, buying time to gather evidence without alerting the imposter. Online forums are packed with elaborate timelines, one user mapping out how Nathan's amnesia aligns too neatly with Sidwell's recent business expansions into Port Charles, calling it a red flag bigger than the Metro Court sign. If Brit exposes this infiltration, it could unravel deception's facade. But imagine the fallout, Liesel's world crumbling under the weight of another betrayal, and Maxie stirring from her coma to face a fractured family dynamic that questions every bond she's ever trusted. The amnesia angle itself is a powder keg of doubt, with fans labeling it as suspiciously cinematic for a genuine miracle. Nathan's foggy recollections of his past life, vague nods to his police days, and fatherhood without the emotional depth we'd expect feel scripted, almost rehearsed, prompting cries of plot device alert on Reddit. One theory posits that Brit, leveraging her medical expertise, has already run discrete tests in the hospital labs, confirming anomalies like mismatched DNA markers or synthetic implants beneath his skin. Her haunted expression during James's innocent hospital visit, where the boy eagerly approached his dad with wide-eyed wonder, spoke louder than words. It was the look of a woman torn between shielding a child from illusion and unleashing a truth that could scar him forever. Extending this, perhaps Brit has confided in a select few allies, like her on-again off-again confidant Austin Gatlin Holt, plotting a subtle sting operation to trap the imposter in a lie about a shared childhood memory only the real Nathan would recall. Fan reactions are a roller coaster, mirroring the show's signature drama. Enthusiasts of the darker lore are thrilled by the Phazon-flavored intrigue, flooding comment sections with praise like, "Brit stepping up as the family guardian? This is peak GH Gold, give her a spin-off." They envision epic showdowns where Brit confronts the clone in a rain-soaked alley, unmasking layers of deception with razor-sharp wit. Conversely, die-hard Nathan loyalists are pleading for authenticity, sharing heartfelt memes of his heroic past with captions like, "Bring back our real Nathan, the one who fought for justice and not this shadowy substitute." The divide highlights Brit's own tangled web of deceptions, from her fabricated Huntington storyline that forced a fake demise to evade enemies, to her underground alliances that still haunt her conscience. If Nathan proves fraudulent, it might force Brit to confront how her secrets mirror his, potentially forging an unlikely alliance or sparking a rift that echoes through generations. Ultimately, as Port Charles teeters on the edge of revelation, Brit's enigmatic silence positions her as the linchpin in this identity crisis. Whether guarding against a Phazon phantom, a Sidwell schemer, or something even more sinister like a long-lost enemy resurfacing under Nathan's guise, her choices could redefine the Obrecht saga. With James's future hanging in the balance and Maxie's recovery looming, the stakes have never been higher. Next, we will learn about the escalating crisis in Port Charles, as Portia Robinson teeters on the verge of total collapse, her web of deceptions threatening to engulf the entire Ashford household in flames of betrayal and heartbreak. Deep within the bustling corridors of General Hospital, Portia's carefully constructed facade is cracking under the immense pressure of her illicit romance with the enigmatic Dr. Isaiah Gannon, a relationship that's blossomed in secret amid stolen moments in dimly lit supply closets and late-night consultations that veer far from professional boundaries. As Curtis Ashford, her steadfast husband, begins to gravitate back toward the familiar comfort of his ex-wife Jordan Ashford, sharing quiet coffees at Kelly's diner and exchanging knowing glances that hint at unresolved sparks, Portia's jealousy boils over into irrational accusations, all while she buries her own guilt deeper. Fans have been glued to their screens, capturing every tense exchange in living rooms turned into impromptu watch parties, where Portia's sharp words about Curtis's betrayal ring hollow against the backdrop of her own hidden rendezvous. This double standard has ignited a firestorm online, with TikTok videos splicing clips of her outbursts, alongside shadowy glimpses of Isaiah's lingering touches, captioning them, "Portia's glass house is about to shatter. Her escalating paranoia manifests in sleepless nights pacing the waterfront penthouse, replaying imagined scenarios of discovery. Yet she clings to the lie, convinced that one more day of silence will preserve the illusion of their perfect family life. The hypocrisy reaches a fever pitch in a recent episode where Portia confronts Curtis over a seemingly harmless after-work drink with Jordan at the Floating Rib, her voice laced with venom as she accuses him of rekindling old flames, oblivious to the irony that her own heart has wandered into forbidden territory with Isaiah, whose gentle demeanor and shared passion for medical ethics once drew her in. During a vulnerable post-shift conversation, social media erupts in real-time backlash, with hashtags like Portia's trending as viewers flood comment sections with raw frustration. How dare she judge Curtis when she's been playing doctor with Isaiah behind his back? This woman's hypocrisy is next-level toxic. Her declaration that their marriage is on life support feels like a desperate bluff, a verbal grenade lobbed to deflect scrutiny. But it only amplifies the deception swirling around her like a storm cloud. Portia's internal turmoil is palpable. In invented extensions of the storyline, she might confide fragments of her anguish to a trusted colleague like Epiphany Johnson, during a rare quiet moment in the nurse's station, only to pull back at the last second, her fear of exposure turning allies into unwitting accomplices. This refusal to come clean isn't just stubbornness, it's a calculated risk, betting that Curtis's loyalty will blind him to the truth. But each passing day erodes her resolve, leaving her isolated in a maze of her own making. Adding explosive layers to this domestic powder keg is the tantalizing rumor of Portia's potential pregnancy, whispered through preview clips that tease nausea in the OR, and furtive glances at a pharmacy pregnancy test hidden in her locker, thrusting the question of paternity into the spotlight. Was the father the devoted Curtis or the secretive Isaiah? This bombshell echoes hauntingly with Portia's dark history of paternal cover-ups, particularly the decades-long deception surrounding her daughter Trina Robinson's true biological father, Marcus Taggart, a lie that unraveled spectacularly and left scars still healing within the family. If Isaiah turns out to be the dad, it would mirror that past sin with brutal precision, forcing Portia to navigate a minefield of ethical dilemmas in her role as a physician who preaches transparency to patients while embodying duplicity in her personal life. Detailed fan dissections on platforms like Tumblr delve into hypothetical scenarios. Imagine Portia scheduling an ultrasound under a false pretense, her hands trembling as she stares at the screen, weighing whether to tamper with records as she once did for Trina's sake. The stakes soar as Trina, already embroiled in her own high-stakes drama with the brooding Kai Taylor, amid investigations into Drew Kane's mysterious shooting at the Quartermain estate, begins to notice her mother's erratic behavior, missed family dinners, and evasive answers about work stress. Portia's frantic maneuvers to sidestep Trina's probing questions, like abruptly changing the subject to college applications or feigning headaches during heart-to-heart talks, signal a dangerous descent into full-blown panic, where every dodged conversation chips away at the trust she's fought so hard to rebuild. A verified pregnancy would rewrite the Ashford narrative in irreversible ways, plunging the family into uncharted chaos as the uncertainty over the child's lineage threatens to fracture bonds forged over years of shared trials. From Curtis's gambling recovery to Portia's rise as a pillar of the community, Curtis's deepening connection with Jordan perhaps evolving into collaborative police consultations on a new Port Charles case involving counterfeit Metro Court event serves as a stark reminder of what Portia stands to lose. His laughter with his axe a dagger to her conscience as he unknowingly drifts toward emotional independence. In expanded plot threads, Curtis might stumble upon a misplaced earring from Isaiah's office in Portia's coat pocket during a routine laundry fold, sparking initial confusion that blooms into suspicion, pushing him further into Jordan's supportive embrace and leaving Portia adrift in a sea of regret. If desperation drives her to claim Curtis as the father in a bid for marital salvation, the inevitable demand for a DNA test muck like the one that exposed her Trina fabrication could deliver a devastating blow, unraveling not just her marriage, but her credibility among friends like Stella Henry, who has long championed the Ashfords' unity. Trina's capacity for forgiveness hangs by a thread, caught between loyalty to her stepfather and fury over yet another maternal bombshell. She might channel her energy into supporting Kai's quest for justice in Drew's attack, sidelining Portia's pleas for understanding and deepening the generational rift. Fans speculate wildly on whether Portia could leverage her influence over Isaiah to enforce his silence, perhaps appealing to his professional ambitions with promises of joint research grants on innovative treatments for sickle cell anemia, a cause close to her heart from her early medical days. Yet, Isaiah's entrenched position at General Hospital, where gossip travels faster than flu season, makes airtight secrecy improbable. Whispers from nosy orderlies, or a slip during a heated lover's quarrel could ignite the scandal. In creative extensions, Isaiah might harbor his own hidden agenda, like using the affair to advance a covert study on workplace romance's psychological impacts, adding a layer of manipulation that mirrors Portia's duplicity and forces her to question if she's been played as much as she's been playing others. Her spiraling emotional state captivates audiences, blending sympathy for her internal battles with schadenfreude over the impending reckoning, as she navigates therapy sessions with Dr. Neil Burns' successor, grappling with waves of nausea that blur the line between morning sickness and sheer anxiety. The viewer divide on Portia's plight is as polarized as a Metro Court ballot, with drama aficionados salivating over her potential implosion and the explosive confrontations in the hospital chapel where Curtis demands answers amid flickering candlelight while rooting for a redemptive arc that sees her bearing her soul before it's too late. Posts on fan sites buzz with enthusiasm. Portia's downfall is serving up the juiciest GHT past the popcorn, as others plead for mercy, sharing fan art of a reconciled Ashford family picnic at the park. A timely confession could tip the scales in her favor, melting Curtis's resolve with raw vulnerability, but Jordan's magnetic pull bolstered by shared history in solving cases, like the recent Casadini artifact heist, might prove too strong, drawing him into a fresh start that excludes Portia entirely. Should the pregnancy prove authentic, it emerges as the ultimate pivot, capable of welding the Ashfords back together through unexpected joy, or detonating their world in a blaze of accusations and custody battles that ripple through Port Charles society. As Portia stares down this abyss, her choices will dictate not just her fate, but the legacy of trust or treachery that defines her forever. Keep watching GH Spoilers for every pulse-racing development in this family feud set to explode.